Hello ladies and gentlemen, what is up? I am Darnock with TGN bringing you another StarCraft 2 1 vs 1 cast, and holy crap, I'm fanboying out so hard right now. We have two of my very favorite players on the scene right now facing off against each other for us today. Now there must always be balance, so unfortunately this is just a singleton replay. Sorry if my voice got quiet. I was taking things out of my pocket because I had like 20 pounds worth of stuff in my pockets and it was not very comfortable. But it is just a singleton replay today. It is from a very fresh hot off the presses Team Liquid replay pack, and of course this week is Liquid Hero, so it's a Liquid Hero replay pack. And I was like, okay, these are usually pretty good replay packs. The games are in general quite entertaining. There are usually some pretty big names in there as well, so I was scrolling through. I looked at the PvPs. There wasn't anything super big there. I looked at the PvTs. There was a Hero vs Brain King Prime game, but it looked to be pretty short based on the file size. And then I looked at the PvZs, and my eye immediately zoned in on Gamania Sen, and I was like, oh, well, we're casting this right now immediately. I'm not doing anything else before I get this knocked out, so that's what's happening, and I am so incredibly stoked. So the map is going to be Daybreak. It feels like I'm just casting Daybreak nonstop. I feel like every replay I cast that's just a one of, oh, is that probe going down? No, it does sneak out of there. But every replay I cast, I feel that it's just a one of is on Daybreak, and then whenever I cast a series, there's always at least one game on Daybreak. So I'm getting very familiar with this map. In the lower left corner, we have the red Zerg player, Gamania Sen, probably my favorite Zerg player. Is that true? Yeah, that's pretty true. Definitely my favorite foreign Zerg player, and I do think my favorite Zerg player overall. He is just so good. He's basically on the same level as any Korean Zerg you can choose, except maybe like Nest-T or anybody like that. But he just goes through Koreans quite consistently, and oh, this is interesting. He is actually going for a hatchery block here at the natural of Liquid Heroes. You see Hero trying to go for that Forge Fast Expand, and Sen just says, no, you know what? I'm going to build a hatchery here, and I'm going to delay your Forge Fast Expand by quite a bit. I will not let you get that Nexus up before I am able to get a hatchery going, because that is just not an enjoyable thing at all. So we do see Hero does pull 4 probes off the line here to start whittling away at this hatchery. Looks like the hatchery does gain just a little bit more health than 4 probes can DPS down at a time. Of course, the hatchery is getting pretty close to finishing though, so it'll either finish and then its health will start dropping considerably, or it will not finish and it'll just get canceled. On the other hand, we do see Hero has gone for a pylon block at Sen's natural as well. So Hero is going to be countering his late natural with forcing Sen to take a later natural of his own. But holy crap, this game is insane. Sen just says, you know what? That's fine. That's okay. I'll just take a natural in the middle of the freaking map. The most like forward natural I could take without just being silly and ridiculous. That's what's going to be happening. And Sen does let that hatchery finish. He does decide that he would like to spread that creep around as much as possible, because of course now, even though the hatchery has been killed, and ooh, the broodlings, are they going to kill any probes? It looks like they may have gotten 1 or 2. Nope, they didn't get any probes, unfortunately for Sen, but he is going to send those probes home. They are quite softened up, and of course, again, this creep is going to delay this base for quite a while. A couple of lings do pop out. One does get destroyed immediately by that photon cannon. It looks like if Sen wants, he may be able to swing that Zergling into the main base of Heroes. That is a possibility. We'll have to see if he does decide to do that. And wow, this is a really interesting situation to be in, because we see there are now 2 hatcheries going down on the map right now. One at the natural and one that is usually the 4th or 5th base in the middle of the map. And only just now is Heroes Nexus going up. There were 3 hatcheries on the map before 2 Nexi. Nexuses? Nexi? Nexi sounds about right. Makes me sound smart anyway. So before 2 Nexi were on Daybreak. So interesting game. Sen's going to have a lot of production, a silly amount of production. On the other hand, though, of course, we do have Hero with his first gateway. He does have a couple gas as well. And I'm going to be very interested to see what Hero does about this. Now, Hero has not scouted out everything. He does see the sort of crazy expansion in the middle of the map. He hasn't seen this natural base. He can assume that's going to go up, though. Typically, when Zerg players, I say typically as if this is a normal thing. It's of course not. But we have seen this situation more than once or twice, as you know, there are a lot of games of StarCraft played every day among professionals, and we do get to see a lot of them. It is pretty typical for a Zerg player after he goes for that sort of weird forward expansion to go for to retake his natural pretty quickly as well. Now we do see a Stalker moving out across the map. Will it be able to do much? Well, there is a Queen right here. and it's going to do a little bit of battle with the Ling as well. The Ling, of course, does lose that fight. But there is a Queen here. The Queen, with its nice range, is going to be able to engage that pretty well. And oh, the Zealot was coming forward. It was going to try and bully that Queen, but a huge spawn of Lings at absolutely the perfect time is going to kill that Zealot and send the first Stalker packing. Now, another Stalker's over here, and there's actually a probe scooching across the north side of the map as well. So perhaps he's going to go for some proxy play. On the other hand, he could just be swinging by the remaining expansions, just making sure, okay, you're already playing kind of insane. Is there anything else I need to look out for? Have you gone for more hatcheries? And of course, that's not the case quite yet. Now, this is interesting from Liquid Hero. He is adding on 3 more gateways. That's not the interesting part, though. The interesting part is he is going for a quick Dark Shrine, and I really do like that decision because, as always, there are 3 sort of pillars of StarCraft 2. There's economy, there's army, and there is tech. And obviously, Sen, he's leaning really hard on that economy pillar, going for 3 hatcheries very, very quickly. As a result, he's having to support that army pillar as well, so he doesn't just lose his economy initially, and because of that, he is not really able to go up that tech pillar very much. You see, only just now has he started researching metabolic boost, the Zergling speed upgrade. There it is. Ooh, this is a great catch though from Sen, being able to find this pylon. That's really, really a big deal. But as I was saying, I really do like Hero's decision to go with the Dark Shrine because he knows Sen isn't going to have a whole lot of tech. He knows it's quite likely Sen really wouldn't have all that much detection. Now, it looks like Sen, of course, he knows what Liquid Hero knows about him, so he's going for an evolution chamber. It is over here. We already do see a single spine crawler going down somewhere. Yup, it's at this forward third base right now, so Sen looks like he should be in pretty good shape. And yeah, we do see spine crawlers going down everywhere now, at the natural, in the main, all over the place. Really does not want to lose this game to surprise DTs, just because that feels bad. We do have the first 2 DTs moving out across the map. They are headed towards this third base. Will they be able to do any damage? Oh, I think Sen actually may have seen them as he was following them with the Lings briefly. And we see one does start killing a few drones here. It is going to get away, just barely. Yeah, it does get away. Oh no, it does die. Man, that spine crawler, it has been doing its stretches or something, because it had to reach to get that Dark Templar. The other Dark Templar does get forced away immediately at the front of the natural, and Sen, he is feeling good right now. Hero going for a third base of his own, which is pretty reasonable. Sen probably won't be able to do anything about this. Again, he spent so much of his time early game getting up those quick 3 bases. Now he has a 4th hatchery going down at the typical 3rd base location. And he really just doesn't have all that much of an army to be able to do stuff. He just has, what does he have? Maybe 25 speedlings? 23 speedlings. Wow, I'm so proud of myself for being able to estimate that number so closely. That was neat. But yeah, he has a fair amount of speedlings, but they're just 0-0. They aren't really that big of a deal. In the meantime, we see Hero. His units are at 1-0. He has quite a few sentries for those force fields, and Sen really can't do anything about this 4th base, or his 3rd base, or Hero's 3rd base, excuse me. So as a result, he's taking a 4th base of his own, making sure he's at least 1 base up on his opponent, getting a macro hatch at his natural, so he's going to be up to 5 hatcheries pretty quickly, which is a lot of hatcheries, because that'll be around the maybe 13-minute mark, a little bit more, 13:30. And 5 hatcheries at that point is a pretty good position to be in. He's getting another evolution chamber. We'll be pumping those upgrades momentarily. And the final piece of the Sen puzzle, wherever it may be. Wow, this is ballsy. He has a spire going down at his 3rd base, which is most you know, sort of exposed. It isn't necessarily the safest place, but as a result, it's going to be the last place Hero looks for it. So Sen with a bit of a gamble right now. And holy crap, 6th hatchery going down right now. Sweet Jesus. Sen is in ultra macro mode right now. He may have to be a little bit worried though, because Hero looks like he's setting up for a timing attack. He does have now have a nice group of gateway units out on the field. He has a good clutch of gateways as well. What is it? 6 gateways? 8 gateways, excuse me. 8 gateways out. He's researching +3 attack. That's a pretty fast +3 attack upgrade. Now, as a result, he doesn't have any armor upgrades. He's going to be pretty fragile as far, or at least as fragile as Protoss units can get. But, you know, much less fragile than they would be if they had 3 armor and 3 shields. But they're going to be very, very high DPS. And Sen doesn't really have any upgrades. He obviously doesn't have any air upgrades yet because he just finished that Spire +1, only just now getting started. I'm trying to find a Ling. Here's a Ling. The Ling does have +0, +1, and we see +1 attack for Lings and +1 attack for the Flyers, which we already talked about. Now we see that Mutualisks are pushing out across the field. Keep in mind, Sen has a large supply advantage, and in fact, Sen can probably, oh well, maybe not. Yeah, I was gonna say he could probably beast through those Stalkers, but there was a Photon Cannon, and I momentarily forgot. These are +2 Stalkers against 0/0 Mutas, so those Mutas would go down very, very quickly. Now at the same time, Sen is moving out across the south portion of the map with his Lings. He has to be careful with these Mutas. I love what he's trying to do. He was trying to pull the Protoss army apart, pull it from one area to the other, and then send in his Lings to do a counterattack, and I really do like that, and that's exactly what's happening. We see the Lings speeding forward, going for that third base. Looks like there's some nice SimCity going on at this third base, though, and oh, nice reaction time from Hero. He knew those High Templars were going to die, but he is going to morph it into an Archon, so it'll probably be K. And it looks like a few probes went down, but again, good reaction speed by Hero. Pulls them all over to the assimilator, and again, with that great SimCity between the pylons, the photon cannons, and the warp gates over here, Hero really not going to take all that much damage. Now, Hero, he is still playing pretty conservatively. He's going for a fourth base of his own right now, which is really what he needs to do right now, because Sen got such a great macro lead early on. You see, he's already maxed, and Liquid Hero only had 142 supply, and in fact, he got himself supply blocked for a little bit there. His macro did slip just a tad as he was trying to protect those probes at the natural from the Lings that were attacking. Now we see Sen going in once again. Hasn't gotten his upgrades for those Mutas finished yet. Now we do see +1 attack just now finishing up. He is going to kill a few Blink Stalkers here, but he's taking a lot of damage. Is he going to be able to beast through this? More and more Blink Stalkers getting warped in, and it looks like he may just be able to hold against the Mutalisks. Well, he is now losing a lot of probes, and he's going to start falling back. Sen is. At the same time, we do see there are some Lings positioned just at the base of this ramp. Has to pull back because this would be messy. It looks like Hero actually got counterattacked from his army. I do apologize for missing that. It doesn't look like a whole lot of damage went down. It looks like it was just like, oh, hey, I have a bunch of money in my bank and some Zerglings, so let's just throw them at the Protoss main army while he's not going to be able to micro because he's busy protecting his main, and we'll see what happens there. Now, I want to take a look at the Workers Kill tab. We do see 15 probes did get slain in that particular engagement, and some more are going to be going down, as well as Stalker after Stalker does get focused down by the flying Mutalisk pack. They still are +1/+0, no additional upgrades on the way. One Photon Cannon goes down. A second one is going to fall as well. But more Blink Stalkers have made it up here, the bulk of the Blink Stalkers, in fact. And oh, as soon as Sen sees this, as soon as he sees a lot of those Blink Stalkers are out of position, he is going to be going. Now, there are a lot of Force Fields ready, and there are a lot of Storms here as well. Eek, and every single one of his Banelings appears to fail to connect. So, wow, Liquid Hero evening up the supply quite a bit. And oh my god, more Banelings coming over. Everything is out of energy. I think the Banelings are just going to go for the Nexus. No, they do go for the probes. They do kill quite a few as well. They're going to try and kill some of these Photon Cannons and the Stalkers in addition to that. Oh, big blink, though. And the Mutalisks are going to have to head back home. And wow, great amounts of action happening in that last 30 seconds. Sen now at 160 supply as he has no less than 76 Zerglings on the way. Liquid Hero at 120. If we take a look at the Workers Kill tab, we see it's up to 26 for Sen, so not a huge number. Looking at the total Harvesters, we see Sen at 86 drones, Hero at 69 probes, 5 bases for the Zerg player, 4 bases for the Protoss, and even though Sen is ahead, this game is still going. He hasn't gotten an unlosable position yet. It is still anybody's game. He does certainly have the advantage, but honestly, this game could go either way, which makes me happy because we're 18 minutes in, and I honestly don't know who's going to win, because this is the type of situation Hero is very good at. He is great at those scrappy situations where he is down in basically every way, but you know what? He is never down in micro, so he always does have that at his disposal. Nice Storm does go down, again, killing most of those Banelings. And Sen, he is really sticking this. Oh, this is what was going on. That was just a front to allow these Banelings to hit. What will they be able to take down? A pylon does go down. Both Photon Cannons do. Will he land any reasonable hits on the probes? He does get a few, actually about 10 or 12 it looks like, up to 38 workers killed now. And man, this game is going to leave me out of breath. Holy crap. We do see the late Hive just about to finish up. Sen has been pouring so much time and energy into the Ling attacks, the Baneling attacks, and the Muta harass. He hasn't really had much of an opportunity to climb that tech tree very much, but he has now done that. Hasn't made use of that newfound tech yet, though he does certainly have the economy to be able to do it. And now we do see that tech is starting to go down. This is more important, though. We see Sen trying to catch Hero before he gets to his, what's kind of his third base. Some nice bungles go down. Ling's doing a decent amount of damage, but for the most part, these Stalkers are still looking very, very scary. Keep in mind, they're 301 right now, whereas the Lings are 1-2. So Hero does have the overall upgrade advantage right there. And Sen just doesn't really have any combat units in the area right now. He does have 78 Lings incoming. But will they be able to get here in time, and will they get here at a time where they can actually do things? If it just streams those Lings in one by one, it's really not going to do all that much. But now we do see the Zerg Swarm is arriving. Will it be able to do enough, though? A nice storm from the High Templar is going to kill a lot of those Lings, and Hero just keeping on the pressure right now, not giving a sign of letting up. Well, he's trying to micro the rest of his army back, as quite a few of his Stalkers do get bungled. They are going to be able to blink away, and Hero should probably start heading back home, and he is going to do that. Now, I did mention Sen has been getting his High of Tech. Let's take a look at the production tab. We do see chitinous plating on the way for his Ultras. He has the Adrenal Glands upgrade for the Lings. In addition to that, +3 armor, about halfway done, and of course 5 Ultralisks are about to make their way out onto the field. At the same time, we do see a bunch of Zealots have been warped in by this Warp Prism. Were they able to deal all that much damage? Well, not to the mineral line. There weren't really many drones there. We'll take a look there in a moment to see if there were any tech structures killed, but I don't think there were. However, at the same time, we see some great two-pronged aggression coming here from Liquid Hero, attacking the 5th base of Gamania Sen, and this is what I was talking about. Hero, he is so good at multitasking. He can really sort of come back from those disadvantageous positions just because he is so good at picking his opponent apart. It's like playing against Puma as a Protoss player. It's just annoying and it sucks. It doesn't look like any tech structures in the main base went down. I'm checking it out and it looks like it's okay. However, in the upper left corner of the map, we saw another macro hatchery did fall. The drones were able to get out of here. No drones gave their lives in this. And Sen is going to be attacking up this. I don't know if this is a great decision, though, because it just sort of looks like all of his things are going to die. His Lings all went down in an instant, and just 4 Ultras is not going to be enough DPS to take down this Protoss army. And we do see another hatchery does fall for Gamania Sen. And things are starting to get a little bit sketchy now. I do like this. Hero has warped in a couple of High Templars at this Warp Prism, so he could be going for some Storm drops, which I would absolutely love to see. I did neglect to check the energy on those High Templars before they got loaded up into the Warp Prism, so I don't know if they're ready or when they will be ready, so we'll have to keep an eye on our mini-map down there. And Sen, he is getting ready to push out. He's basically supply capped. He has a lot of Infestors, quite a few Ultras as well, but this isn't a great place for him to engage. This is exactly the type of situation like Hero would like, but Hero, he doesn't feel confident enough in engaging this just because he does have a supply disadvantage, so he is going to fall back for the time being. Will Sen push this? Will he try to get aggressive? The Storm does delay him, at least for the moment. For the time being, he's just going to posture on the top of this ramp. This is an observer. That's not anything too scary. He does still have a few leftover mutas flying across the map. They're going to prevent this base from going up for a while, which is certainly nice. Blink Stalkers coming over, though, going to push those mutas away, but Sen does retain all 5 mutas, and while 5 mutas isn't a lot, it is still a kind of scary amount. Yeah, if you have really any number of Blink Stalkers in the area, you are going to be able to defend against them, but there's more important stuff going on right now. We see Sen, again, so good with the timing of his attacks. He waits until he pulls those Blink Stalkers out of position, and then he goes in. Great play here from Sen, and wow, that is a lot of infested terror, and keep in mind, he did throw these down after all the High Templars did die, so they're not going to be able to be stormed, and he is going to fall back, and it looks like Hero actually kind of coming out ahead there, really evening up that supply gap. 146 supply to 152 from Sen, so Hero just getting closer and closer. But as I was saying, if you have any Stalkers in the area, mutas aren't all that scary. But yeah, in positions like this, when they can just attack buildings or probes freely, 5 mutas is more than enough to cause some significant damage. However, Sen's going to leave these guys waiting too long, and he does lose just 2. Could have been a lot worse. 2 more are very, very near death. But he does still have 3 of them alive, so not quite as scary, but they can still do some things. Now, I've lost track of the Warp Prism. Is this it up here? Yes, it is. Hero warping a lot of Zealots in the upper left corner of the map, as Sen is trying to get this base back up and running. Looks like he is going to be successful, as 6 Zealots. Not that scary compared to a bunch of Lings, Ultras, and Ultralisks, excuse me. But now we do see Liquid Hero taking a page out of Sen's book. He knows a lot of Sen's army is out of position, and he's not going to press the advantage. He's going to turn around. Okay, interesting choice. Hero really doesn't want to throw away, not the lead he's gained, but the equality he's gained. So he's just going to fall back, he's going to chill, and he's going to try and get his 5th base up and running. And if he's able to do that, he should be able to take this game, because obviously keeping yourself on 5 bases of Protoss compared to a 5-base Zerg is generally a good position to be in. Now, I am curious. I want to take a look at the income tab. Both players' incomes relatively even. We see Sen with about 200 more gas per minute and about 200 to 300 to 400 sometimes more minerals per minute. That is an ever-changing number. And this game is just so tense right now. Really, the entire game is going to come down to a big, I was going to say team fight. I've been playing way too much LoL recently. To a big max 200 versus 200 battle. As far as upgrades go, we do see Hero. He is on 303, whereas Sen, he is on +2 melee and +3 armor, is what it looks like. And then, like, the single roach out on the field, I'm trying to select it. It's very difficult. The single roach has no attack upgrade. Okay, sweet. But still, both players basically maxed on their upgrades. Once again, Hero with the Warp Prism Harass. And this is just so annoying when the Protoss gets a bunch of highly upgraded Zealots with a Warp Prism in the endgame. He can just be so irritating. Is the spawning pool going to go down? Yes, it is. Just barely in time. Keep in mind that means no lings, and wow, this is a lot of Ultralisks and a lot of Infestors. Basically pure Ultra Infestor here for Sen. And I'm not quite sure how I think about that, how I feel about that unit composition, just because really the only damage-dealing units he has. I mean, yes, Infestors have their Funnel Growth. I don't really count that very much as a damage unit, though. That's more just you know, a utility holding things in place unit. All of his main damage dealers are melee, and I'm not sure I really like that. Yeah, this map has a lot of counterattack paths and flanking opportunities, but as long as the Protoss player is, for the most part, responsible and really aware of where the Zerg army is, he can force the Zerg player to attack up ramps, into chokes, and things like that. And of course, that is the situation that the Protoss player would love to see. And we still see the Zealots messing everything up in this base. Sen looks like he's starting to fall apart at the seams here just a little bit. But again, all he has to do is crush Protoss army, and this is a good engagement here for Sen to get. He's engaging not into a choke point, not up ramp. This is basically as good as it's going to get for Sen. Will he be able to make it count? Good fungal growth going down. We did see some neural parasites occurring onto those Archons as well, but it looks like it will not be enough as more Archons getting warped in. However, keep in mind, Sen, he does have 14 Ultralisks on the way. Holy crap. Oh, but he is actually going to GG. And do I agree with that, GG? I'm not quite sure I do. Well, yeah, I don't know. He was probably going to win. I don't think he was GG-able quite yet. Or, excuse me, he was probably going to lose. Hero was probably going to win. I think he could have given it a little bit more time, though, because he did have a lot of Ultralisks coming in. I mean, at the very least, he has what? He has 11 Ultras on the field, and 7 more going to pop in the relatively near future. So at the very least, you can just, like, you know, go attack with your remaining horde of Ultras, see what happens. I think the reason he was sort of demoralized and didn't think it was going to work out is because basically he lost all of his Infestors in that engagement. He only had 3 Infestors remaining, which is a pretty big deal when you're running with Ultralisks. You really need to get those Fungals down. Obviously, he wouldn't have had much of an opportunity to do that. So Hero does win this game, and wow, this was an epic one. I was not disappointed. Man, that was good. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching, folks. Please comment with any constructive criticism, feedback, replay, or player recommendations or requests, anything like that. And I'll see what I can do, so make sure you do that. Thanks for watching. I've been Darnock, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.